Have you ever sat in the quiet of your home after retirement and felt an overwhelming emptiness? Not because you're physically alone, but because something inside you feels lost? The routine is gone. The titles are gone. The purpose seems to have vanished. You wake up with nowhere to go, no clock to punch, no deadlines to chase. The world doesn't seem to need you in the way it once did. And slowly, that silence, once a dream, starts to feel like a prison. You wonder if this is it, if these are the years you just passed through, waiting, watching, existing. But here's the truth that no one tells you. Retirement isn't the end of purpose. It's the beginning of a deeper one. The end of a career is not the end of you, and you are far from finished. Thousands of seniors fall into this psychological trap of thinking life is behind them. But what if I told you that with 6 powerful daily and weekly habits, you can reignite your fire, reclaim your sense of self, and wake up each day feeling alive again? This isn't just theory. These habits are grounded in psychology, neuroscience, and ancient philosophy, and practiced by those who've turned their retirement into the most meaningful chapter of their lives. So stay with me, because what comes next could quite literally give you your life back. Number 1, rebuild your identity through intentional mornings. After decades of structure, retirement often strips away the rituals that grounded your identity. That's why the first key habit is building a morning routine. Not just for productivity, but for your soul. Start your day with intention, not inertia. The mind craves purpose first thing in the morning. According to cognitive behavioral psychology, our early thoughts set the tone for the entire day. When you wake without direction, you drift. But when you start with meaning, you move. Here's how to build that routine. Wake up at the same time every day. Before checking your phone or reading the news, spend 10 minutes in stillness, whether it's meditation, prayer, or silent reflection. Ask yourself, what do I want to contribute today? Not just, what do I want to do, but contribute. This simple question shifts your mindset from passive to purposeful. Follow this with movement, light exercise or stretching. Neuroscientific studies confirm that physical activity within the first hour of waking boosts dopamine, increases focus, and combats depression. Next, nourish your mind. Read a book, journal a thought, or write a letter. Your brain still hungers for learning, for expressing, for reaching out. This isn't about rigid productivity. It's about remembering who you are before the world forgot to ask. A powerful morning becomes a compass for the day. Because when you start your day with purpose, the rest of the day bows to that clarity. Number 2, schedule weekly acts of contribution. One of the greatest psychological needs we have as humans, especially post-retirement, is the need to feel needed. Contribution is not about work. It's about meaningful connection to others. Research by Dr. Martin Seligman, the father of positive psychology, shows that acts of service drastically improve life satisfaction in retirees. Why? Because they remind you that you still matter, that your wisdom, time, and presence are still valuable. Make it a weekly habit to give your time, not because you owe anyone, but because you still have so much to give. Mentor a young person, volunteer at a local library, cook a meal for a neighbor. Even making a weekly phone call to someone who's struggling can transform your emotional state. Every week, schedule one act of service into your calendar. Treat it like an appointment with your soul. Here's the powerful paradox. When you lift someone else, you rise too. Contribution is reciprocal. It feeds your sense of identity and usefulness, while creating connection in a world that often leaves the elderly isolated. You don't need a crowd. You just need consistency. One act, once a week. Because the more you give, the more you realize you're still very much alive. Number 3, create a passion practice time block. Retirement gives you a gift most people spend their whole lives chasing: time. But time without purpose is a slow erosion. That's why you need what I call a passion practice. A daily or weekly scheduled time dedicated solely to something that lights you up. It could be painting, gardening, playing music, writing memoirs, woodworking, or even learning a new language. The activity doesn't matter. The spark it ignites in you does. Why is this so powerful? Neuroscientifically, engaging in a flow activity, where time disappears and joy takes over, reduces cortisol, stress hormone, and increases serotonin. In plain terms, passion heals. Remember this, it's not selfish to carve out this time. It's essential. It rewires your brain, redefines your identity, and keeps your emotional world vibrant. Many seniors avoid new passions thinking it's too late. But ask yourself, too late for what? Joy? Curiosity? Growth? Those don't expire. Only your permission to pursue them does. So open your calendar and block the time. Treat it like an important meeting with your soul. This isn't a hobby, it's a ritual of renewal. Because when you regularly touch what makes you feel alive, you stop fearing the quiet. Number 4, embrace a weekly digital detox. In retirement, it's tempting to drown in screens, TV, news, social media. They fill the silence, but they also numb the soul. That's why one of the most powerful weekly habits you can adopt is a digital detox day. Science is clear. Constant digital exposure increases anxiety, disrupts sleep, and creates a false sense of connection. But more importantly, it pulls you away from real-life presence. Pick one day a week, Sunday for example, and go screen-free. No TV, no scrolling, no emails. Replace screen time with lifetime. Talk to someone. Cook slowly. Go for a walk without a phone. Sit in the sun and simply be. Here's the psychological twist. When you remove digital noise, you allow inner clarity to rise. You'll think more clearly. You'll feel more present. You'll remember who you were before the algorithms told you who to be. It might feel uncomfortable at first. That's okay. Growth often hides behind discomfort. But give it a few weeks and you'll crave this silence like medicine. Because in the stillness, your real voice returns. Number 5, initiate meaningful conversations weekly. Loneliness isn't just a lack of people, it's a lack of depth. Many retirees find themselves surrounded by others, yet emotionally isolated. That's why this habit matters. Once a week, initiate a meaningful conversation. This isn't small talk, it's soul talk. Call an old friend and reminisce about your wild youth. Ask your children about their dreams, not just their jobs. Share a story with your grandkids that reveals who you really are, not just the version they know. Studies from Harvard's Adult Development Project show that deep conversations significantly increase happiness, memory retention, and even longevity. Make it a ritual. One day a week, reach out with intention. Not for updates, but for connection. Create moments that matter. Ask questions like, what's something you're struggling with right now? Or, what memory do you think shaped who you are today? These aren't just words, they're windows. Because when you speak from the heart, others open theirs too. And you realize you're not as alone as you thought. Number 6, reflect and reset. Every Sunday, the final habit is sacred. It's your weekly ritual of reflection and reset. Because life without reflection becomes a blur, and retirement without rhythm becomes decay. Every Sunday evening, spend 20 minutes looking back on your week. Ask yourself, what gave me joy? What drained me? What did I learn? What do I want more of next week? Write it down. Your thoughts matter. Your days matter. You matter. Psychologically, this practice grounds you in self-awareness, which is the root of personal growth. It keeps you evolving rather than drifting. And here's the most beautiful part. Reflection turns days into wisdom. It transforms time into meaning. It's a reminder that you are still on a journey, not just a memory. When you reset your intentions weekly, you live on purpose, not by accident, because your soul is still writing its story. Don't leave the pages blank. Outro, the purpose within you. If you've made it this far, you already know something powerful. Your story isn't over. It's evolving. Retirement is not the curtain call. It's the second act, the one where you're no longer playing a role for others, but finally discovering the truth of who you are. These 6 habits aren't tasks. They are lifelines. Each one pulls you back to what matters. Identity, contribution, passion, presence, connection, and reflection. You are not done. You are becoming. Every sunrise is still yours. Every conversation, every page, every quiet morning. You can choose to infuse it with meaning. So take that first step. Build your morning ritual. Give your time. Chase your passion. Silence the noise. Speak with depth. Reflect with courage. And then watch as your days begin to feel alive again. Because the fire in you, it never died. It was just waiting for you to come back to it. If this video spoke to your soul, subscribe, share it with someone who needs it, and tell us in the comments, which of these habits will you start today? Because you are not alone, you are not finished, and the world still needs the light only you can give.